Welcome to a quick introduction to the Ayurvedic Doshas. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, an easy guide to a healthy lifestyle, and the Companion Workbook. I am celebrating 10 years of the publication of these two books, so we're doing this series on an introduction to Ayurveda. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing, clicking on the bell, giving it a thumbs up, putting a comment below saying thanks for the video. So if you are brand new to Ayurveda and the concept of Ayurveda, the word Ayurveda comes from Ayus, which means life, and Veda, which means knowledge or science. So Ayurveda is the science of life. Ayurveda is approximately 5,000 years old. It is the original medical system from India, and it actually works today, believe it or not. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Ayurveda in this series and a quick introduction to the Ayurvedic doshas. Now, the word dosha is mind-body type, and there are three primary Ayurvedic doshas: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Now, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, which are the three mind-body types, are comprised of the 5 Mahabhutas, or the great elements. The great elements are space, akasha, air, vayu, fire, tejas, jala, water, and prithvi, earth. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. And each of the doshas is comprised of 2 primary elements. Now you might be thinking, well, 3 body types, mind body types? That's not very many. And of course it isn't very many. However, your primary mind-body type is usually comprised of a very dominant dosha, usually one dominant dosha, a secondary dosha, and of course a third. But we have all the 5 elements within us: space, air, fire, water, and earth, but in different proportions. So you may have noticed that some people are more airy, they're more flighty, they kind of flit from place to place. They talk very, very fast. Some people are more fiery. They're very driven. They might be quick to anger. And some people are very earthy. They walk slow. They talk slow. They're kind of just sitting around enjoying life, and they don't fret and worry like the air sign. So Vata is the first one we're going to talk about. Vata, V-A-T-A, is comprised of space and air. A Vata type embodies the qualities of space and air. So space is boundless, right? It's open, it's fast, it's wide. And air is the moving quality through space. So as you might guess, those that are Vata types tend to move quickly through space. That's why they might walk fast, talk fast. They might be thinner in body structure because they are always on the move. A Vata type might pace around while they're talking on the phone, or they may just pace in general. They don't like to sit still for too long. They like to change activities frequently. So the word for the Vata type is change, because they like to change very quickly and they're kind of unpredictable. The second Ayurvedic mind-body type is Pitta, P-I-T-T-A. Some people pronounce it Pitta, like pita bread, but it's pronounced Pitta, P-I-T-T-A. And the Pitta type is comprised of fire and water. And the word for Pitta is transformation. Now, you might be looking at the 2 elements of fire and water, tejas and jala, and going, those 2 don't seem like they go together. However, fire transforms things. So for example, if you have a mix of brownies and you add all the liquids to the dry ingredients, that's a wet, gloppy mess. it doesn't resemble a brownie. However, if you put it in fire, if you put it in the oven, 30 minutes later, you have a very tasty treat. So that is the transformative power of Pitta. Pitta types, bodily types, tend to be mesomorphic, right down the middle, not fat, not skinny, but just right down the middle. And they are driven by fire. So they tend to also like sweat a lot. They tend to be very sweaty people. They tend to run a little hot. Their body temperature tends to run hot. They tend to be very passionate and driven, warm, but also prone to anger. And those are the types that really get things done. Sometimes you can refer to them as that type A personality type. The third Ayurvedic dosha is Kapha, K-A-P-H-A. Yes, pronounced Kapha. And Kapha is comprised of the elements water and earth. Earth, think of dirt, right? Think of the qualities of earth, anything really solid. Well, if you put together water with earth or water with dirt, what do you get? You get mud. And Kapha types tend to be like the tortoise. They're very slow, very structured, which is great. We need that. We need structure. But everything about them tends to be a little slower. So they might walk slower, they talk slower, they're very tranquil, they have a grounding energy about them. As a result, they also tend to be more solid in bodily structure. They may have bigger bones, they may even have more fat under their skin. They might have a hard time losing weight, and mostly that's their bodily structure, but in addition to that, they really don't like to move. It's a little harder to get a Kapha type to get out and walk in the morning. They tend to not be morning people. And they are really reliable because they are grounded. They're grounded. They can withstand the test of time because they're there for the duration, whether it's in a job or a relationship or even exercise. They tend to have a lot of stamina and staying power. So those are the three main mind-body types. Now, of course, there's a lot more detail that goes into them, but since this is a quick introduction to the Ayurvedic doshas, I'm just giving you a quick overview. So now thinking about this, you might be thinking, oh, like Vata type, that sounds like me, or maybe Pitta type, that sounds like me, or maybe even Kapha, that really sounds like me. But of course, in my book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, I have an Ayurvedic mind-body type test, so you can determine what your natural mind-body type is. And in the companion workbook, I have what your state is now, because as we move in and out of balance for ourselves, we tend to shift and get out of balance. And it's really important in Ayurveda to understand your nature, your prakriti, in order to bring yourself back into balance. And so that's what Ayurveda is all about. It's understanding what your nature is, what you were born with, your genetic code, if you will, in the mind-body type, your mind-body emotions, and then to be able to bring it through various things, bring it back into balance so you, for your body type, you feel balanced and healthy, so that your mind feels balanced and healthy. And that is the whole point and purpose of Ayurveda, is to feel perfect health for yourself moving forward. And it actually works. Even though it was a construct of 5,000 years ago, they were pretty smart back then. They're pretty in tune with nature and their bodies and their minds, not like today. So if you would like to learn more about Ayurveda, please do stay tuned to this channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for subscribing below. Make sure to click on the bell so you will never miss a notification on a new video about Ayurveda, mind-body health, mind-body spirit health. Thank you so much for adding a comment below, just saying thanks for the video, giving the video a thumbs up, and sharing with those who are interested in alternative health therapies. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you in the next video.